Hi everyone, my name is Brie Sodano and I'm a personal finance expert and the founder of From Sheep to Shark. And I made a training for you guys today about scarcity and sufficiency and abundance because I've gotten a couple of comments on some posts and some questions. I'm gonna just adjust this a smidge. Oh, all right. So I wanted to go live for you guys and just talk about some of these things because the feeling of scarcity, that there's a feeling of scarcity and a thought process of scarcity, and both are super bad news bears for your finances. So here's what I put together for you guys. So most of us are in scarcity. I don't know, can you guys see that? I'm gonna just move this up close for a second for you guys. All right, so most of us are in this spot of scarcity. And when we're in scarcity, scarcity on the thought process is feeling like it's the thought process of there's not enough. The money goes too fast. I can't keep money in my hands. It goes too fast. There's not enough is the idea. The feeling of scarcity is something else. It's visceral. Now everybody experiences it the way that they experience. I'll tell you, for me, when I get scarcity, it sits on my chest and it feels like panic. Like it feels like very panicky. And I think that's pretty similar to what I've heard from most clients. So when we're in scarcity, one thing that really, I feel like the manifestation, the law of attraction crowd really messes up is this idea of scarcity and abundance. Now, the way that I see scarcity and abundance, like in practicality, is that they are like two different sides of the same piece of paper. One is the same thing as the other until, for most people. And here's why, is because when you're here at scarcity and you're trying to get to abundance, there is this Bermuda Triangle of busy, broke, and exhausted. And that's where most of us stay. And the faster you go there, the deeper the hole gets, the deeper the rut, but there's really no progress to be made when you're in that spot. And so when you're trying to go from scarcity to abundance, it's like everything I need and want. That is an overwhelming feeling. Actually, just yesterday, I made a video about when money comes, like how even extra money can increase this feeling of scarcity. So I'll tell you like my own little story. So I just recently sold a house, and so I got a check for the escrow of the house, and so I was unexpected, and it was a nice little sum of money. And so I didn't anticipate that. So I didn't have a plan ready to go for this money. So I deposit the check, and then the way that I got like right into scarcity, which is like a pattern that I have that I like work on. We all have like some self-sabotaging patterns. So here was my thought process. All right, so I have this check, so this is pretty good. All right, I could use it to pay the mortgage. My mortgage is taken care of. I could use it to pay some stuff off. I could use it to do this. I could use it to replace the kitchen floor. I could use it to paint the deck. And so but it's not enough to do this and it's not enough to do that. And so now all of a sudden, this like windfall of money is now starting to make me feel scarce because the stuff, all the things that I could do with it, it's not enough for a lot of those things, right? Like it's a nice check, but it's like, it's not $1 zillion. It's like however many dollars it was. And so sometimes even a good situation will cause that feeling of scarcity, right? And then luckily I trust myself financially. Money can sit in my bank account and I will like let it stay there and then decide what to do with it when I'm ready. But a lot of times if that feeling of panic coupled with not trusting yourself will make you do things to get rid of that money. And we'll talk more about it in a second. So that busy, broke, and exhausted phenomenon, I mean, typically the way that it goes is I don't have time. So I get right into action. I get right into action without planning. And then that requires convenience purchases. And then you get to this convenience purchase and you spend so much money that now you're broke. You get your statements and you're just exhausted because it is exhausting to be busy and it's exhausting to be broke. And so one of the biggest misconceptions that I see with clients and in the industry in general is that you can go straight from scarcity to abundance, because you can't. It's this busy, broke, and exhausted phenomenon is hustle, is grind, is work harder, work harder, work harder. And you always have to work to get what you want. I'm not going to, like, that's crazy to accept, but like, this is over time ridiculous. And so here's just like a little example of this in my own life. So imagine planning a party and you have however many people coming over. And so the day of the party, what are you immediately thinking? You get up and you're like, there's not going to be enough food. Scarcity. There's not going to be enough wine. There's not going to be enough napkins. It doesn't, like, whatever it is. And so that scarcity will cause you to go back to the store. This is the way it plays out for me. And so if I'm feeling scarce about that, I'm going to send my husband to the store, and then I'm going to be in charge of doing all these other things while he's out running errands. And so now I'm cooking extra food. I'm busy, right? I had a plan that looked like it was going to be enough. I wake up, I feel scarce. And so now I'm going to be busy cooking this extra food. I'm going to make Mike busy going to the store to buy things we don't need. We're going to spend extra money that doesn't really need to be spent. And then I'm going to be exhausted because I'm going to cook the extra things, and I'm going to have to clean the house while he's at the store. He's going to be exhausted because on top of that, now whatever plans he had, I interjected going to the store. And so that busy, broken, exhausted phenomenon is where people get stuck. And then this is where we get to abundance. So we get to abundance when the party happens and the people show up and they eat the food and they tell me how good it is, and like none of it, like they barely made a dent in it because I cooked all this extra food. So instead of the food being enough, now I have way too much food. It's a wasteful, and I'm pretty much begging my relatives to take this food as leftovers, right? And so before you can get to abundance, you have to master sufficiency. So sufficiency is the idea that there's enough, that I have enough, that this is cool, like I'm safe, it's all right. And so when you're trying to get there, it's just focusing on like that you already have a lot of what you need. And I'm going to talk about this more in like the later giant pieces of paper I drew. But this is it. You have to get to sufficiency before you can get to abundance. Because when you try to go from scarcity to abundance, it doesn't work. So you have to go by way of sufficiency. And it's pretty much learning to control your thought process. It's learning to control your mind, because that's how you get sufficiency. Because scarcity is, we are going to come in contact with scarcity like scarcity. Some people get scarcity triggers when they pay their bills, or when they get something unexpected, or something pops up, or they have to buy a gift, like weddings, and like all types of stuff can trigger that scarcity feeling. And so sufficiency is about controlling your thoughts and controlling your feelings enough to not be making decisions in scarcity. And so some of this is about making choices. Like I joke that you can have anything that you want, but not everything. And so sufficiency is there. Sufficiency is like, all right, let me have what I want and what I need, but not excess, not too much, not so much more. Because true abundance is enjoying your life. True abundance is having good health, having a good relationship with your family, having your friends, having freedom to use your time to enjoy your life, having enough financial means to have everything you need and some of what you want. Financial abundance isn't just like make it rain and throw money around. Although for some people that's what it does mean, but for most people that's not what they're going for. It's not what they even want. So when you're in sufficiency and you're over here, then you can get to abundance, because then it's anything I want. It's a focused desire. This is where law of attraction comes in. Like this you can't even use law of attraction because you feel so bad. You feel panic, you feel fear, you're worried, you're hustling, you're grinding, you're not open, like your perception is closed. And so there's no room for like universal intervention to get in that way. And this is why it's like some people work super hard their whole lives and never make any sort of progress. They sacrifice their health, their relationships to get, but they can't get there because they stay stuck in this loop. And so sufficiency is what you want. It's the art of making do with what you've got. It's resourcefulness, and that's what it is. All right, so I'm gonna make a second video because I feel like we're already 10 minutes in. So I'm gonna do this.